Tuck rib trim is an easy finish that may be made on any knitting machine. It makes great finishing for the edges of armholes and also good cardigan bands. Here you're looking at the Diamond Girl blouse that will come out sometime in 2020, probably first in Country Knitting of Maine News and Views. Since the purl side is the right side for this blouse, that's what we see at the armhole, but both sides of the band are good looking. I'm going to show you how to do it on several different machines, first entirely by hand and then using automatic features of the machine. Pretend this is the sweater, the armhole, and we're about to bind off for the shoulder. At the end of the armhole shaping is where we begin our tuck rib formation. I made eyelets here, but I don't do that in real life. It's just that it will allow me to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, double checking, drop this stitch, and ladder it down on camera without getting confused and losing it. Now, behind a rung, pull the next one through. Behind one rung, pull the next one through. We don't do anything to the rung that we slide behind. All the way up. So we're creating one tucked purl stitch column. Now, of course, it being a purl, when we place purl stitches alternating with knit stitches, we create rib, and ribbing doesn't roll. So that's part of the secret to this finish. Then another part of the secret is the tucking. That also somewhat cuts down on roll. Also, whereas ribbing generally narrows the fabric, tuck widens it back out. So we don't change the initial size of the width of the knitting very much. And third, the tuck stitches shorten the fabric a little bit. In the area of an armhole where gaping is sometimes a problem, that's quite a help. So we create this tucked purl column in 3 places, stitches 3, 5, and 7 from the edge. And that creates the armhole finish. Here's the sample we just knitted, looked at from both sides, purl side and knit side. If you wanted to, you could do the same exact thing on a pass-up in the same exact way I just did it, but here's an alternate way. The back bed, where you cannot see it, is on N, and that's where the stockinette knitting is going on. The front bed is set on E, which will tuck every other row, and X goes with E. E can't be knitted in the N setting. It has to be with X. I've also set the front bed 2 whole numbers smaller than the back bed. So let's see what happens. Going from left to right, the stitches that are only on the back bed, all knitted. Those that are on the front bed, tucked. Now we'll go right to left. All the stitches on the back bed knitted again, and the front bed stitches knitted off. And here's the swatch we just knitted. It pays to swatch and play around with your stitch size. I think if I were doing this for a real project, I would go down another whole number on the front bed stitch size. I'd like a little bit snugger, tidier of an edge. Now let's do the same thing on the Superba. We're assuming that the underarm shaping took place down here and a little bit below. And it's finished, and now we're going to transfer stitch 3, 5, and 7 to the front bit. We'll hit both the circular and the tuck buttons. I'm going to bring you real close so you can see what's happened. Can you see that each needle is now holding one loop of yarn plus the stitch? Now we'll knit across. Now each one just has a stitch. I'm referring to the front bed needles. Those are the ones on which the tuck rib is being formed. Stitch plus a loop. Just a stitch. In fact, these are the half fisherman's rib settings for whatever machine you're using. Here's the band we just knitted, first from the purl side and then from the knit side, and both do look nice. Half fisherman's rib has a ton of uses, and it was used in this book, my More Merry Book of Circle Sweaters, a great deal to help create the shaping. So here is the chart from that book that summarizes how to get this effect on all different machines. We've already been over Superba pass-ups and doing it by hand. For brothers, put the main bed on N. The ribber has one part button and the pattern lever on P. For studios, main bed at stockinette, left side lever on 0, right side lever on 1 on the ribber, and the pick knob on tuck. Pass-ups can do this too using techniques number 105 or 106. When you get your stitch sizes just right, the results will be nearly identical on any machine you choose to use.